Fáilte Abhaile, my friends, welcome back to Our Legends. In today's video we're going to look at the ghost of Leamaneh Castle and Ireland's first possible Black Widow serial killer, Red Mary. But before we begin, if you could hit the like button, give us a subscribe, we just hit 500 and are on the road to 1000. Also, leave a comment below letting us know what part of the world you are from. So without any further delay, let's dive into the ghost of Leamaneh Castle. Located on the edge of the burn in County Clare, Leamaneh Castle was built in two stages. On the eastern side, the taller part of the structure is a tower house that was built about 1480, probably by Tulla O'Brien. It contains 5 stories of small chambers, all with narrow defensive loops for shooting arrows, accessed by a spiral staircase. To the west is a large 4-storey gabled manor house built in 1648 by Conor O'Brien and his wife Mary McMahon, otherwise known as Marie Rua, or Red Mary, on account of her flaming red hair. Red Mary was a notorious figure in the folklore of County Clare. Some of the lustful and sinister stories relating to her lack any historical evidence, but there is no doubt that she was a formidable character. She was born in 1615, daughter of Tulloch Rua McMahon, Lord of Clunderlaw. Her first husband, Daniel O'Neilan, of O'Dea Castle in North Clare, died just a few years into their marriage, some say in suspicious circumstances, leaving Red Mary a substantial estate worth more than £1,000, which in today's money is about 2 million. When she married her second husband, Conor O'Brien, in 1639, this inheritance paid for the earlier Leamaneh Tower House to be transformed into County Clare's most magnificent 17th century mansion house. In stark contrast to the earlier tower house, the mansion house has large mullioned windows which ensured its rooms were bright and airy. The land surrounding Leamaneh was once finely landscaped. Early maps show the castle surrounded by a bawn, with gateways to the north and south. There was a large walled garden to the west, and to the east a summer house, a large fish pond, and the turret walk, which leads through trees to a turret. Conor's time at Leamaneh was cut short when he was killed by Cromwell's soldiers just 3 years after the castle's completion. He was brought back to the castle half dead, where Red Mary shouted from the top of the tower, "What do I want with dead men here?" Apparently, when he succumbed to his injuries, Red Mary immediately put on her best dress and set off in her carriage for Limerick, where, in a bid to retain her lands and estates, she offered to marry any willing Cromwellian officer. Captain Cooper became her third husband, but his time in Leamaneh was also short-lived. There are 2 accounts as to how he died. One is during an argument in the castle, Red Mary pushed him out of the 3rd-storey window and he fell to his death. The other, which was also during an argument, is that in a fit of rage, Red Mary kicked him in the stomach and he died shortly thereafter. Legend tells that Red Mary went on to wed a grand total of 25 husbands, most of whom met their early deaths with a push from one of the upper castle windows. She kept a harem of young men in the castle, disguised as maidservants. The real maids, however, were treated with incredible cruelty. Some were hung by their hair, and others even had their breasts cut off. Another story tells that she kept a stallion in her stables and would challenge visitors to ride it. Once the beast was released from its bridle, it would run wild, galloping towards the cliffs of Moher, where it would suddenly stop, hurling the poor victims over the cliff to their death. The word Leamaneh even translates as horses that leap. Eventually, the people had had enough of Red Mary's wicked deeds. They tied her up and sealed her alive into a hollow tree, where she was left to starve to death. Red Mary's son, Donogh O'Brien, was the last of the O'Briens to live at Leamaneh. He moved the family seat to the much larger Leamaneh Castle in Newmarket-on-Fergus in County Clare. Leamaneh was abandoned at the end of the 18th century and left to fall into ruin. In 1908, the arched gateway which stood in front of the castle was taken down and re-erected at Leamaneh Castle, where it can still be seen on the castle gardens. An inscription on the arch dates to 1643 and records the construction by Conor and Mary. One of the old Leamaneh fireplaces also found a new home in the Old Crown Hotel in Ennis, where it can still be found in a small room off on an upstairs dining room. To this day, nobody is certain where Mary was buried. But the gaunt ruin of Leamaneh Castle is haunted by the menacing apparition of Mary's red-haired ghost, and on calm nights her taunting cackles and screams are sometimes heard echoing from its crumbling walls. So that's the story of the ghost of Leamaneh Castle and Red Mary. Let us know what you guys thought. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, this is Jay from Our Legends. Good night and good luck.